Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the Celtic Way YouTube channel. You'll also be joining us on the Facebook page and the X page as well. My name is Ryan McGinley. You would normally see at the Ryan McGinley at the bottom of the screen, but we're sharing the one laptop amongst two people. My name is Ryan McGinley, as always. I'm joined by Tony Haggerty, Haggerty10 normally, which would be at the bottom. Tony, how are you doing? Motherwell 1, Celtic 3, a massive 3 points. Didn't think we would be saying that at half time.
No, we didn't. And I said to Brendan Rodgers at the end, it was the optics, wasn't it? 2 points, we'll take that, take the win, take Adam Idah coming on and scoring the goal. But Brendan Rodgers said, didn't think there was a big difference between 4 points and 2 points. I can tell you right now, there is a big difference. In my mind anyway, I disagree with the manager slightly on that. The optics of it still being 2 points are great, and you felt there's something's kick-started within Celtic with that late win, but can't gloss over the fact that for large periods of that game, Ryan, that Celtic didn't look at the races, did they?
Yeah, and I think we're going to go over that, to be honest, as much as, it's such a relief to get the 3 points back down the road. It's now 2 points between Celtic and Rangers. It had to be, especially at half-time, we were saying a draw isn't even enough here. There's got to be a win at all costs, and, they actually did manage to get that extra goal at the end, which makes the goal difference look slightly better than what it was. Late goal from Lewis Palmer, but, we've got to take the rough with this move. Got to take the positives with the negatives. And unfortunately, despite Celtic winning 3-1, which if you look at that on paper, you're saying, oh, that's a routine job. It was anything but today. It was a slog for Celtic. That first half is probably right up there with the worst first halves I think I've seen from a Celtic side. Certainly this season, I can't think of much worse, to be honest with you. They upped it in the second half, but still they weren't at their fluid best. But they found a way. And at the end of the day, that is the main thing. They found a way.
Thankfully, they found a way, because that first half, they were bereft. They're devoid. I think one shot at goal they had, wasn't it? Was it Greg Taylor's?
That was actually the first shot of the game.
Kelly,
it was pretty much just a team effort back to the fellow Scotland international.
And Motherwell were well worthy of their lead at half time. And the only surprise was it took them so long to open the scoring, because let's be honest, the defensive side of Celtic, Liam Scales, Navrowski in particular, agricultural, big centre half, balls over the top, balls into space, and they were giving Celtic all sorts of problems, Ryan, let's not. And a better team would have destroyed Celtic in that first half, destroyed them, and they were lucky that they were one down. And they found a way. Thankfully, we're talking, and there's a happier spin on it. They found a way. It could have that galvanising effect. You want them to kick on. It's a massive 3 points. Had that gone to 4 today, I think most Celtic supporters would have thrown the towel in.
Yeah.
They're still in there fighting, and Cameron Carter-Vickers came back. Yang made a positive impact.
He did.
Adam Idah's impact. Just that. See that header. I love goals like that. It's a brilliant header, a bullet header from a pinpoint accurate cross, rising above the defender, and sticking it in the net. That's. I also he spoke as well today, didn't he? So, but yeah, that's the centre forward and Adam Idah that I wanted to see. 2 goals for open play, 2 really good goals. Expert finishes. And you and I turned to each other and said he has to start now for every game between now and the run-in.
It's an absolute no-brainer now. He starts on Wednesday for me. I think he's the first name on the team sheet out with Joe Hart. Praise has got to be given to Joe Hart in that game. I think there was a save in the second half right after Celtic scored the equaliser where he scored. I think it was Jack Vale that had the header. That was a spectacular save from a guy. All the headlines have been about Joe Hart this week for him finishing up his career at the end of the season. But he turned back the years with a tremendous save. The Man City, Joe Hart, I watched him at the Westfalen Stadium when he played Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League. I think that was 2012, 2013. That was a save that he would have been proud of that night if he did it then. Just a phenomenal save and
an important time as well.
It's all about timing as well. And Joe Hart's timing of his saves could not be any better in that, because if Celtic go a goal down again after that, you wonder what the mentality is going to be like. Is it going? Are they going to crumble? Because they just, you're at your weakest apparently when you score a goal, because you leave yourself wide open at the back because you want to go and score more goals. But Joe Hart was the last line of defence. He kept that ball out, and apart from that, did Motherwell have any clear-cut chances after that, or was it more Celtic's lack of a cutting edge that was the difference between the two sides at that time in the game?
My instant analysis, I put on that just this Celtic team aren't functioning as a team. There's 11 players out there, Ryan, right? But they're individuals, and all talk of unity, and to me, it's fragmented, it's disjointed, and it's all one man analysis, guys. If you want to read that, they just don't look like a team at this minute in time. But it's results like today that can garner that, galvanise everybody and get them together. And Adam Idah it's in the title, he saved Celtic season, and I've also written on that it was kind of Groundhog Day for the Celtic supporters in terms of the performance at half-time, the first half. I was scouring social media, and it wasn't hyperbole to say that Celtic supporters were saying Rodgers had 45 minutes to save the job, because the team were just bereft. They were devoid of ideas and playing dreadfully, abysmally. I mean, can't you underestimate how appalling that first half was? Dragged herself back into Adam Idah's equalising goal from the header, 51 minutes. Then it's game on, and they grew into it. But even still, some of the passing was diabolical. I mean, Greg Taylor.
There's a point that Greg Taylor, I think it was just, we're pointing out because we're just at Fir Park just now, and it's a bit easier to just go and point out and say, right over there, that's where the pass was. But there's a point where Greg Taylor, it's just a square pass up the line, and a Motherwell player just intercepts it. And I actually thought Greg Taylor was okay today. I thought he was one of the best of a bad bunch. But there's a reason why there's no player ratings on the website. Down to technical issues, not the only technical issue we've had today, but rest assured they will be on the site later on. You're at the mercy of technology with things like this happen, but there will be player ratings, and it might give me a chance to look at the game back and sort of think of individual moments in the game. Looking at that.
Taylor's cross for the goal was excellent.
Phenomenal.
Big Dom saying there, I'm aware of that, Dom. I'm just singling out instances that come to your mind. And that was one of them. And I was watching, some of the passing and distribution being utterly diabolical. Thought he had to come in and thought he did okay.
He get better as the game.
Yeah, and thought he was having his best spell when he came off.
And the fans let the manager in particular know all about that decision, I think, because there were other players in the midfield that weren't pulling their weight, unfortunately, for want of a better phrase. Again, we spoke before the game about Matt O'Reilly and how he had to turn it on in this game. He had a great chance to get back into form with that free kick, the one that Bernardo sort of back heels to him. Mm-hmm. Too intricate for me. That was far too intricate. Just hit that. Why would you? I've never understood this, and it's just me. Why would you jeopardise the free kick by putting any sort of pace onto or touching the ball to the player? You know where the ball's going to be if it's in a dead ball situation. It can't move. It then automatically gives the player something else to think about because they need to judge where that player has touched the ball to before hitting it. And then it just hit the wall. And that was a great chance. There was a VAR check in between because they thought that potentially it was a red card because it was a denial of a goal scoring opportunity. I'll need to see it again. I've only seen it once, but it looked pretty borderline for me. But Matt O'Reilly today, I'm sure people will talk about him in the comment section again. But again, he didn't step up today, and no. it was other players that had to step up in his absence. I'm thinking Wednesday, do you put Bernardo back in the side? Odenholm was available today. He didn't even make the bench. So is there going to be a changing of the guard in the midfield for Wednesday's game? I'm not so sure, but he's a player he's not at the tip-top condition, and it's quite obvious.
Yeah, he was poor again today, and again, manager will make his call on that. He's been excellent more or less all season, but the last few weeks he has tailed off, and I think that's a big decision the manager's got for Wednesday night against Dundee, hasn't it? Does he Does he rest him? Does he think now that he's had to give him enough chances and this would be the ideal time to just take him out? But certainly Matt O'Reilly wouldn't be alone in being taken out the firing line. I think the time has now come to have the Liam Scales chat.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, how many times did we count in the first half? Was it 3? At least 3, maybe 4 or 5 times. That one long ball over the top, and it was panic stations for Scales.
And just positionally as well. And again, I go back to getting rumbled up by a big agricultural striker.
Theo Bair was. I had the run of him in the player ratings. I did do player ratings. They just didn't save. But I said that Liam Scales was getting bullied by Theo Bair on that because he was understanding where the ball was dropping. He knew the areas in which he could hurt Scales, and he didn't get a single drop of the ball when Cameron Carter-Vickers came on. So he just decided to stick with Liam Scales because he knew he was getting joy. He wasn't going to get any joy out of Carter-Vickers, so he just stuck with Scales.
And also, we spoke about it in the pre-match. Nicholas Kuhn, big stands for him. My goodness, I had more touches of the ball than Nicholas Kuhn sitting where I am here, or at least I feel as if I did. And I don't like going studs up on Celtic players because they're doing something I could only ever dream of. But you want them to make a contribution and a meaningful one at that. But I just don't see it with Kuhn at this moment in time. I said I was surprised why he started, and I'm vindicated in that comment that I didn't see anything from him today. Yang comes on and shows him did more. You said Yang came on and did more in his cameo than Kuhn did the whole game.
I said that in the opening 10 minutes when he was on the pitch because he looked hungry, and it was the complete opposite of what he was like at Fir Park the last time he was there. Yang, he was keen to get on the ball and make things happen. He was key. I'm not sure exactly who got the ball in for the third goal. Was it Yang that got the assist for Palmer?
I think it was.
Might have been because he got an assist at Pataudry. I think the thing for us, I think the two of us have spoke about it with Yang. There's definitely talent there. There's definitely something to nurture. That there is no doubt whatsoever. But it's consistency.
Yeah.
But you could say that for all of Celtic's midfielders or wingers at the moment. You could say about the midfield as well, to be fair, but the wingers too. Idah today, he was quite horrendous today. He's
to compound it, he missed a couple of sitters as well, didn't he?
I mean, that header
answers to the Celtic way. If you know what Idah was doing with that header, because it's harder to do what he did with it.
Yeah.
Than not put it in the back of the net, but that's what you get with Idah. That's the player he is. So yeah, listen, thankful that Celtic won 3-1. Could have been sitting here with a lot more doom and gloom. Good second half fight back, but it had to get better, Ryan, because the first half was just desperate, really, really desperate, and not for the first time this season. For the Celtic supporters, they endured a half of football, and I think that a statistic that I learned from today, that's 19 halves of football that Celtic have played this season and not scored. But that's fair enough, but that's kind of Groundhog Day in the sense that there's been lots of halves of football this season that Celtic have played and not looked like scoring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in that first half, they never looked like scoring. And apologies if you heard any bad language there. There's guys doing stuff, putting stuff away, and we're
at the mercy of the atmosphere. Basically, is what we're trying to say. The first half was just not good at all. There was a real doom and gloom feel about it. You could see it. You could see it from where we are sitting. You can see the fans over diagonally. There's hardly any movement at all from the fans when the Blair Spittle scored the opener. I seen people actually going up the stairs. I don't know if they were leaving or they were just going to get refreshments at half time. They were just scunnered. But there felt like...
But that was inevitable. You turned to me and said that was coming. Mm-hmm. Well, we both said to each other, it was a question of when Motherwell were going to score, wasn't it? And cracking strike from Blair Spittle.
For the first time he scored against Celtic.
Joe Hart beating all ends up with that. And we just an air of inevitability about that outcome, and then we said, well, a huge fight back second half has to do something. Brought on Adam Idah because we noticed that Kyogo's shoulder his shoulder had gone.
It was a mixture of both.
But Roger said it was tactical more than anything else. It just wasn't happening for Kyogo. And he got the response from Idah, and I love Idah's hunger and desire and fight and spirit that he brought. It certainly G'd a lot of his teammates up, didn't it? And getting the equaliser 6 minutes into the second half also helped kind of breathe new life into some of the Celtic players. But as the manager said as well, and the fans will certainly bear this out, it's not good for your blood pressure watching Celtic play like that and relying on 90 plus minute winners. But as long as they come, it's great. It's a great feeling when they come. Came against Hibs at Easter Road, didn't cut, slapped in the face against Kilmarnock. So it's that kind of Russian roulette type football that Celtic are playing at the minute, and it's not good for anybody. But
so
the major positive is it felt like a massive win today. Let's be honest, didn't it?
Yeah. There's so many analogies that you can use. The Jekyll and Hyde analogy, the analogy you just used there as well. 45 minutes worth of playing and 45 minutes worth of absolutely nothing. It's a tale of two halves, honestly. Yeah. You can use every single cliche. I know to somebody in the comments that were saying they've never heard of that, or they don't agree with the fact that you're most at risk when you've just scored. I have heard that before. I don't know about you, but I've heard of that analogy.
When you talk about a tale of two halves, it was the best of halves, it was the worst of halves. I'll flick that round.
I still think there's improvements to be made in that second half, but they scored 3 goals.
And getting Cameron Carter-Vickers back as well sort of solidified that defence, and
so if they could breathe again.
Yeah, sort of. As soon as you come on, I was thinking, okay, let's have a barnstorming 30 minutes. And they kind of did, but they left it till the last 10 minutes to have the barnstorming minutes,
Yeah.
So, but they got there, and Brendan Rodgers still talking about Celtic writing their own story and their narrative. So, and Big Dom, I'm reading Big Dom's comment. Yeah, Tony, we're all hoping today can galvanise the rest of the season. I think that's what Celtic supporters have been looking for all season, Dom. Inclining to Rome. They thought it happened at Easter Road with the late penalties. Adam Idah scoring twice there again, and great that he scored twice from open play today. I was delighted for him for that. He is somebody who can come up with big goals and you can rely upon, so let's start utilising them more. But I still think we need to play the two of them up front. Shoehorn the two of them, him and Kyogo. But manager will not do it. So but to me, it's still what I want to see before this season's out. So yeah, as I say, at the end with the celebrations, it felt like a big win, didn't it?
Yeah, and it certainly was. You look at the league table. What would it have been if they'd drawn the point? The 4 points. We were talking about this. I mean, Brendan Rodgers, frankly, can say it all he wants, but 4 points just would not have looked good at the end of the game. And I think that would have been a really tough sell from in the press conference.
Yeah, and that's why I asked him about the optics of that. Right,
I was worried you were going to get a bit of a response from Brendan Rodgers.
I don't think a Celtic supporter would have liked to have been 4 points behind tonight and would have bought what he was selling if that was the case. That 4 points was nothing. No, 4 points with 11 to go is straying into irretrievable territory.
Mm-hmm.
2 points with 11 to go, it's still doable. And 4 points would still have been doable. I'm not saying it wouldn't have been doable, but I'm just talking about the way that looked and just the way Celtic were playing. There would have been 4 points behind, and it would have been another draw and stuttering again, and the season danger of petering out. This keeps it alive, breathes fresh impetus, breathes fire, kickstarts, whatever one of those kind of words you want to use. So here's hoping that the players can really, can become that solidified unit, and collective. Because I didn't see a lot of the collective today until the late goals were scored, and everybody's this is great. But in terms of a team that disjointed for long periods, it didn't strike me as a team that were unified. Anybody in the comments want to put me right in that or say or disagree, then so be it. But I saw a team of 11 players, but not a team. You know, I saw 11 individuals trying to do things and it not happening, and they shrug their shoulders. And Adam Idah made it happen, and kind of galvanised that team for the second half, and they needed that spark.
Yep.
But it seems to be that every game Celtic are needing a spark.
He was the spark and he was the catalyst in the game. 2 brilliant goals from Adam Idah, 2 goals from open play. This is where my one problem with Adam Idah is the fact that they don't have an option to buy on his contract.
Yeah.
You're at the mercy of Norwich now, who I'm not sure, as far as I'm aware, Sidney Van Hooijdonk hasn't scored for Norwich since he joined the club. He might have scored one since last time I checked. I'd need to double check that. But in his opening games, Idah has scored more goals than Van Hooijdonk, so it seems that Celtic have got the better deal out of the 2 teams thus far. But the problem that presents is the fact that, you're at the mercy of Norwich. Norwich can put whatever price tag they want. And he's a guy that seems to be growing in stature at Celtic with every passing game. I know he didn't score in that game against Kilmarnock, but his hold-up play and his passing to other players around him was good. And then today, he obviously get his 2 goals. That's 4 goals. And he's only been here, just under a month. So he's becoming a really important player for Celtic, an important catalyst. You just imagine what he'd be like in a good Celtic team at this point in time. I know good individuals, yes, but in an actual performing team.
And he will be, and Rodgers said he was very excited about him and had high hopes for him. And again, you have to say, this is somebody that he told you about and he would come good. And he came good when it mattered. And so I'm pleased about that. But, some commenters saying that Celtic were... the manager said they were absolutely brilliant in the second half. I'm not sure I share that view either, but they were certainly infinitely better than they were in the first half.
Yeah, brilliant compared to the first half, I would say. If you're going to use that just objectively, yes, I think they were brilliant compared to the first half, but that's because the first half was so bad.
Oh, it was poor. It was a low bar. The first half, a very low bar. And so the second half, they did create chances. And, but as I say, it took Adam Idah coming on for Kyogo to spark into life, be the catalyst for that win. But that's why the manager was excited about Adam Idah. He showed you today why the manager got excited about him, and as you say, they might rue the fact that they've not got an option to buy a clause in. Player might agitate for a move to Celtic himself at the end of the season and ask Norwich if that's possible. So we'll see what happens. But he's got 11 games to score goals to help Celtic on the way to the title, and if he can do that, then he'll be a hero, all right. So
they've got the money in the bank to buy Idah. Let's be honest. The accounts are out there. If they need to spend a couple of million to get Adam Idah in, a guy that's clearly growing game by game for Celtic, that would be my first name on the team sheet on Wednesday against Dundee, then spend that money and bring him in. 22 years old. You can see the confidence in him. He's a confidence player, but when he's got a bit of confidence in him, he looks as if he can make things happen. He's not the only confidence player in this team, and I know there's quite a few players that are lacking in confidence at the moment, but he's feeding off of this.
Got a bit about him, hasn't he? And that's a player that came on determined to make an impact.
He wasn't going to lose today. He wasn't even going to draw today. He wanted to be on the winning side.
6 minutes into the second half, he dragged you back in, and then brilliant header, great cross, great striker play. You'll get up above the defender and bullet the header into the net. And then the second goal that he scored, another low ball across, but beating your marker, and he made it look so simple with the side foot finish, but it's such a difficult skill. 90 plus 4 minutes he scored, I think. That could be the last chance of the game. It has to go. And he made sure he got the connection and he buried it, and the celebration said it all, didn't it? And I'm glad that he has that in his locker, because he kept calm under pressure. How many times a chance like that, it goes wide, it goes high, keeper saves it or whatever, because you're conscious of, kept his mind focused on the job. Another chance, I need to score. Scored. Obviously, Palmer's goal puts a bit of gloss and shine on it. So, but I was delighted with Adam Idah's contribution today. One that I hoped he would start to do. and that's 4 goals he's got now, and two goals in two games.
Two open play goals as well.
Open play goals, but 2 goals in 2 games, which have been vital for Celtic. The 2 penalties Easter Road and the 2 goals today at Fir Park. So you can't ask for any more from him, can you? Just hope he can continue that rich vein of form in the 11 games that are left in the league season, certainly.
He can't have a false dawn, and neither can Celtic now. This is it now. They've had that late winner, and they got the extra late goal, the bit of an extra goal from Lewis Palmer that we're hardly talking about. But it was a tap in. He couldn't have missed it. Well, Maida maybe could have missed it, but Palmer, he was there at the right time. He scored the goal, and he took his shirt off, and he was delighted. He likes taking.
Maestro 95 saying used to on a lock in. We probably will get locked in at some point, Maestro, but we just decided to come back up to the stand and do this because there's still a couple of journalists milling about the press room and doing their stuff. We've just managed to do some of our stuff, most of the stuff, but obviously we had to come up and chat about this. Thankfully, we're talking about a Celtic win.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else you want to touch upon? I know we've been going for about 25 minutes, and I know we're at mercy of the people in and around Fir Park, but is there anything else that you want to discuss about the game? Any individual performances, good or bad?
I'll probably sleep on it, because we'll be back up tomorrow, 10 o'clock early, with Hamish to talk about various things. We'll go over it. But yeah, I mean, I'm just delighted they won, Ryan, because as I say, the optics could have looked so much worse, and you could be going home in an entirely different frame of mind and mood. There's 2 points in it. Nothing in it. You stretch that to 4, then you've got something to worry about, haven't you? I think, personally.
Can't be hemorrhaging points.
I can't underemphasise that, and it's the form. Or the loss of form you would have been talking about there, But, I think guys played their part. Big guys played their part today. Cameron Carter-Vickers has got minutes under his belt. Iwata's got minutes under his belt. Joe Hart, great save. Adam Idah, double. So a few things to certainly enthuse about.
Mm-hmm. The Monday briefing will be refreshing tomorrow, boys, says Craig.
Indeed it will be. We try, I think when you sleep on things, you maybe watch Sportscene or watch the highlights back, and because we're seeing it once, because we're seeing it live, and then we go downstairs, we do our work, and until we get home, we maybe see it in Sportscene or go through our social media and look for highlights. But I've only seen the goals in real time. I've not saw them on repeat or on social media because I've been busy, dealing with technical issues as well and all that. So it's I think tomorrow will be even clearer in my head about where do we think we're headed.
I don't want to call it a magic Monday, but I think we'll say, my goodness, what a 3 points that'll be Monday. I don't know if that'll catch on, guys, but
a happier Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you to everybody that's joined us. We had about 350 people watching, which is amazing after, even a few hours after the game. We really do appreciate it.
Time as well. Thanks for joining us, guys. We see you all the time. We do appreciate it. We've had some technical issues, maybe why we've not flicked up as many.
Having to hold a microphone as well, Tony. It's difficult, but we try our best to bring you the best sort of show possible. And I'm sure if you're available tomorrow to be on the morning briefing, you'll be able to put your comments in and get involved.
I think we'll be touching on the Liam Scales and Matt O'Reilly conversations. I think they will need to be had in depth.
Absolutely.
Because we are approaching.
We praise them when they're positive.
We do, and we have, and we will. And you could even throw McGregor into that mix as well.
Yep.
Another FA performance from McGregor as well in midfield. But we'll touch upon all that tomorrow. Just rejoice in the fact, result dependent. I always say it, guys. Motherwell 1, Celtic 3. Idah the man.
Yep, Idah the man, absolutely. Thank you to MPH Group for sponsoring this video and the pre-match video. Navy and Boilers, we'll put the links in the description for plumbing, heating, kitchens and bathroom work. Look no further than MPH Group, and we thank them, as always, for sponsoring every single one of our videos. If you like what we do, please press that subscribe button. It would really help us. We're just over 500 away from 10,000. I'll need to double check that number again. It might have went up since I said in pre-match. Hopefully it has. If that's the case, then we're getting ever so closer to 10,000. But, we're not going to stop at 10. We're going to keep on going and going and going. Try and make it as big as we can. But we appreciate everybody subscribing. And if you want to support us just that wee bit more, please press the subscribe button or go to www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe and you will gain access to the instant analysis plus the match ratings that will be out later on tonight. I think we've also got a star man one that we'll be writing about. I wonder who Celtic's star man will be. We're still going to do the silhouette, but no prizes for who's going to be the star man. Maybe Tony will be right about Lewis Palmer since he scored the all-important third goal.
Oh, am I right about the star man? Is that
maybe one of the two of us.
One of the two of us are right about the star man, but no prizes. Ryan says for guessing who that will be, but as you say, we'll do the silhouette anyway. But guys, thanks for joining us. That's what time are we at? 4:45. Been a long time after kickoff, so we do appreciate it. We'll do more in-depth chat tomorrow with Hamish as well, get his thoughts. But good result. Galvanising effect.
We hope so. No more false dawns. This has to be it from now until the end of the season. Thank you everybody for joining us. Definitely one galvanisation that doesn't need to be in it. It's people that join these shows. We really do appreciate it. Thank you for, as always, for coming on. We'll be round about 10 o'clock tomorrow. Try and get on as soon as possible to talk about what will be yesterday's game and maybe some of the positives and negatives that went along with it. But until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys, and we will see you all tomorrow. Cheers, guys.